We got something going on over here, like automatic weapons or...
My boss was shot at 2.3 round, 12 centimeters from my head.
Someone is sobbing and they say they need an ambulance.
As we know, the line between love and hate can be incredibly thin. Oftentimes it's only a few words. And when a relationship turns ugly, things can go bad in a hurry. This is the tragic story of a mass shooting which occurred in Wisconsin's North Woods. It's my hope that by looking into the darkness, we can learn something and maybe prevent future tragedies. So let's take a deep dive into this horrific night, and while we do, think of everything these victims could have done, what they could have become, where they'd be at in life at this very moment, and how senseless this entire event was. Let's go back to October 6, 2007. Tyler Peterson was doing Northwoods type activities with a few friends. He was drinking and shining deer. Now, if you're not from the country, shining deer is exactly that. It's shining bright lights into the woods to spot deer. And for whatever reason, beer is oftentimes associated with this type of activity. Now, Tyler was off at the time from his job as a Forest County Sheriff's deputy, and notably, he was also a part-time Crandon police officer. Tyler's personal life had recently taken a big hit, as his girlfriend of the past 4 years, Jordan Murray, recently broke off the relationship. Later, it would come out that Tyler had been both physically and verbally abusive to her. Now, just a guess, but I would think that would have something to do with the breakup. It was a beautiful, warm October Saturday night. The thick tree cover was vibrant and bright with fall colors. It was also homecoming weekend, and the Crandon Cardinals beat up on their rivals, the Florence Bobcats, and spirits were running high. Jordan Murray, who was 18, was giddy with excitement because she had gotten her own apartment. Now, it was her father's building and he lived upstairs, but it was still her own space, her own apartment, and she had planned to have a little get-together with friends that evening. At this party was 18-year-old Katrina McCorkle, 18-year-old Leanna Thompson, 14-year-old Lindsay Stahl, 20-year-old Bradley Schultz, 20-year-old Aaron Smith, and 21-year-old Charlie Nutzel. The night was filled with talk, laughter, pizza, movies, and a little beer. On this night, as the previous few nights, Jordan received several texts and calls from Tyler, who wanted to get back together with her. She responded that she needed more time. So after dropping off a few friends, Tyler decided to go over to Jordan's apartment. At around 2:30 a.m., there was a loud bang on the door. It was Tyler, and they let him in. Tyler observed Jordan sitting next to Aaron on the couch, and he accused them of sleeping together. He thought they had a relationship, and he got very angry. They started yelling, an argument ensued. The others started yelling back, telling him to get out of there, which eventually he did. Before he left, though, he reportedly hit Jordan and stormed out. Now they locked the door behind him. Unfortunately, Tyler would not be gone long. He walked out to his truck, grabbed his Forest County issued AR-15, and returned. This time he didn't bother knocking. He kicked the door in, and then he methodically went through the house one by one and shot and killed all but one person.
Leanna Thomas was found in the bedroom closet, and Katrina McCorkle was found just outside the closet.
As Tyler entered the residence, he went room by room clearing the house. He shot Aaron, Bradley, and Lindsay in the living room near the couch. He shot Jordan and Charlie in the kitchen. He shot Katrina in front of the closet in the bedroom and shot Leanna, who was inside the closet. In the process of this, he spent all 30 of his rounds in his clip, but Charlie was still alive. He returned to his vehicle, reloaded, and came back in. Charlie played dead, however, which indeed saved his life. Crandon is a very small town and the police station is only a block away. So Officer Greg Carter, who was on duty, heard the gunshots, called into dispatch at 2:47 a.m. He arrived at the residence as Tyler was leaving. As Tyler was about to enter his truck, he opened fire on Greg's approaching squad car. Due to the heavy gunfire, Officer Greg Carter had to retreat for cover. This allowed Tyler to get away. He sped away. As Tyler was leaving, Paul Murray, the father of Jordan, heard the gunshots, heard all the commotion downstairs, looked out the window, and saw Tyler leaving. He knew right away who it was. He went down and saw the carnage. At this point, he called 911 saying he killed them all. He said exactly who it was. He said it was Tyler Peterson, the cop. He did say there was one survivor who was screaming for help. And now for hours he drove aimlessly around about 3 or 4 counties in northern Wisconsin. And it would not be long before he made contact with the authorities. He was in contact off and on and trying to throw the authorities off his trail. Remember, he was a police officer and he did have a police radio in his truck so he could hear much of the communication until they took it off police radio and went just to cell phones. All in all, there were 18 different agencies joining the manhunt to look for Tyler Peterson, along with 2 pilots for aerial coverage. They needed the numbers because they had to cover about 700 miles of deep woods. At one point, Tyler called into dispatch pretending to be a different officer. Trying to throw them off the track, he gave them a description of a different vehicle. He was trying to give different locations of where he was. When he did talk to authorities using his own name, he would say he's at a different location. He would say he was turning himself in, but that never came to pass. At 7:50 a.m., Tyler arrived at a friend's cabin in Argonne, Wisconsin, not far away from the crime scene. He then informed them what he had done. Previously, he had also called his family and let them know. At the cabin, the owners convinced him to turn over his AR-15. Later, at about 8:30 a.m., Tyler left to meet up with his family. He came back at about 9:15. At this time, one of the cabin owners called 911 to inform them that Tyler Peterson was at their residence.
Forest County 911.
Yeah, this is Mike Hagley. We got that Tyler Peterson at the house right now.
A short time later, the wife of the first caller called again to 911 and told them about the whereabouts. Here's the call.
You see him?
Yep,
Oh, where is he?
right here.
Does he want me to come up there, or what's his story?
He wants to actually wait till tomorrow, but I'd rather you...
You know that.
I know that. I'd rather you come tonight, right now,
Okay.
by yourself.
No weapons in there? Just say yes or no. No?
Well, he's not standing in front of me. I'm in the cabin. We think there might be a pistol in his waist. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to get that from him if it is.
Ooh, be careful.
I will. I'm not going to wrestle him down. I've got Mike here and the boys are here. Just don't bring a bunch of squads up here, please.
No, we're not.
So now they knew where Tyler Peterson was, and a SWAT team was called and surrounded the residence. Tyler was in touch off and on with the district attorney, and they were trying to negotiate with him to turn himself in. Tyler sounded like he was going to, but broke off communication. So now it's after 12 p.m., October 7th. The cabin is surrounded by a SWAT team, and they see Tyler going back into the woods. At this time, a sniper took a shot, wounding him, hitting him in the arm. Just a short time later, they heard 3 gunshots in the distance. They converged on the area and found Tyler Peterson dead.
Disregarding that request for EMS or med flight, subject is down 1040.
Now, the story goes that he shot himself in the head 3 times. That seems so unlikely. Now, I haven't seen the autopsy report myself personally, but what is said is he shot himself twice under the chin which did not kill him, and then he shot himself in the temple. Now again, it seems unlikely that would happen, but there would be little reason at this point to lie or make up a story or cover anything up, because any shooting at this point would be justifiable by any stretch of the imagination. So we're left to assume that that is the truth. At the end, it doesn't matter. I think it's clear to see that Tyler did not kill himself because he can't believe what he did. He was remorseful. In fact, anybody who spoke with him was pretty clear that he really didn't show any remorse at all. He killed himself because he didn't want to go to prison for the rest of his life. And I think it's well known that being a police officer going to prison is a pretty rough road. So that would make perfect sense. But it wasn't out of some remorse or anything like that. I think that's pretty clear at this point. So, yeah, 2:30 p.m., it is reported that Tyler Peterson was dead. The manhunt was called off, and the community was left to pick up the pieces. Now, I can't overstate the importance of remembering the victims. They were so young. They had so much life ahead of them. And for someone with a wounded ego to go and execute every single one is as heinous as it gets. So, that is the story of the mass shooting which occurred in Crandon, Wisconsin on October 7th, 2007, perpetrated by a police officer, Tyler Peterson.